Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Steve, and today I got to do something I don't want to do. That's my new motto, right? I don't want to do the things that I don't want to do, but sometimes you have to. So today I got to go to the dermatologist, and once again, I hate these appointments and stuff where it messes up my morning, messes up my day. I don't like to break the routine. So anyway, I've been putting this off for a while. Got to go get checked out. Got all. I'm always out in the sun, get the dots checked out and all that kind of stuff. They're always scraping something off. But anyhow, I figure I just throw it out there. Here's the first one of the day. The things I don't want to do. Doctor's appointment. And I remember my parents, all they ever spoke about in retirement, your father. We're always at a doctor's appointment with your father. That's true. That's what happens when you get close to retirement age. You spend most of your time going to the doctor and all these appointments and stuff. And guess what? The healthcare system and the doctors, they don't help. They really don't. You go there and, you know, they tell you to do this, tell you to do that, take this, take that. And nobody ever feels any better. Pretty rare, unless you need like emergency surgery or something, just to go to the doctor because, oh, this hurts a little bit. You're wasting your time. There's another YouTuber out there, Hooser, I think his name is something like Hooser Outdoors, something like that. And in his video, he was saying that he took a fall off an e-bike. And when you look at the crash, right, it looks like he's going like a half a mile an hour. And it looks like he just falls off the bike, kind of just like rolls off of it. Doesn't look violent or anything. He breaks 4 ribs, separated his shoulder and everything. I'm like, dude, when you're 58, 59 years old, you can't be doing that kind of stuff because the slightest fall, you're all busticated and you're finished. Anyway, he was complaining about his he separated his shoulder, they misdiagnosed it and all that. So I don't know if you can see it. See that bump right there? A few years back, probably 15 years back, I was on a 6-foot step ladder and I was coming down. I was like, and it was an A-frame step ladder and I was just trimming a tree. And I was like 3 or 4 steps up and the land was like, I had the ladder here and the land was sloping away. So like the ladder was like this on the ground. And I was like, and my neck, I had herniated a bunch of discs in my neck, like prior to that. And that doctor scared the hell out of me. He was like, if you fall, if you take a hit in your head, you're going to be paralyzed the rest of your life. You need surgery and stuff. I never got surgery in my neck. Never did it. But I was really scared about like injuring myself and being in a freaking wheelchair. So that ladder pushed out on me as I was coming down it. And so I threw the pole saw because I was trimming a tree. And I was like, oh shit, I'm coming down. And like I said, it was only like 4 feet. But since the land sloped away and stuff and my back was hurting and everything, and I'm like, I can't land on my head either. So I was like, how am I going to land, And the split decision, the last time, I tucked and rolled like this, and I landed right here on my shoulder, all my weight, like going downhill. Bam! Oh my God. The pain was so severe, right? So I actually had to go to the emergency room. It hurt so bad. So I go to the emergency room, and they do all the scans and x-rays or whatever. And they were like, you separated your shoulder. I was like, oh, okay. In my mind, when I hear separated shoulder, I was like, no problem. They just put that back in place. No, that's a dislocated shoulder. A separated shoulder means, in my case, there's four ligaments that hold down your collarbone here. I think that's what that's called, right? It holds it down to the shoulder, those ligaments. Well, all 4 of those, they just tore. And that's why that's like that, and it's never coming back. So anyway, I went to the doctor to follow up after the emergency room, and I was pissed, man, because I'm like, oh great, I think I was 15 years ago, I don't know, so 48. I was in my early 40s, And the only good part of my body were my shoulders. They were, they were strong and everything, and complete, and everything was perfect. And I could do a lot of work with strong shoulders, right? And sure as shit, busted that. So, you know what they told me? Like, oh, go get physical therapy. That's the thing to do. Let's do that first and see how that helps. So I went to physical therapy, and I said to the girl there, I said, but it's separated. That doesn't grow back or anything. It needs, the only way is that major surgery to get that repaired. She's like, oh yeah, that's true, but we want to give you range of motion. I'm like, well, it just happened like last week. So I still have some range of motion. And by the way, it's not in place now and everything. Why are you having me like do weight exercise and rotate it and all that when it's all freaking misaligned and everything, and the things holding it together are busted? And she's just like, oh well, and meanwhile, like, got the deductible and the insurance didn't pay for any of it, so I'm paying like $150 a week back then for physical therapy. And I was like, screw it, I'm not doing this. And I remember I went down to the New York City, down to the hospital for special surgeries, and I went down there, and that surgeon, he was like a sports surgeon, and he was like, yeah, we got to get in there. We take cadaver ligaments and we weave them in, sew them in, and put everything back together. He goes, yeah, it's pretty major surgery, but it'll fix it. He goes, or you could do nothing. It depends how bad it's going to hurt you and stuff. And at the time, it was still hurting really bad, and that was like about 4 or 5 weeks later. So I said, I don't know. They got me going to physical therapy. He's like, well, why? He goes, your ligaments are torn. Physical therapy ain't never putting those back in place. He goes, don't do that, because your joints all misaligned, and you're going to be over there rotating it and working it and stuff, and you're just going to grind it to nothing. I'm like, I don't know. That's what they told me to do. So I stopped doing that. The pain subsided. And I was like, and I think I might even went down to the city for another follow-up, and they were going to schedule a surgery. And I said to myself, you know what? It really ain't hurting that bad. I've got range of motion. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to, because I know people, you're like this for like 16 or 18 weeks. It's like the recovery time is just horrendous. And I'm like, this isn't hurting me enough to make the difference, and I still can use it and everything. The only thing I notice, if I'm carrying like, say, 5-gallon pails of water or something like that, I can feel that this one just kind of pulls out of the socket, and it and the skin just kind of holds it. It feels, or sometimes the bump, like I can kind of like pop it a little bit back in place and stuff. But anyway, that's the deal. So today's message is, don't go to the doctor unless you absolutely have to. And, oh, by the way, make sure you bring a pile of dough, because like where I'm going today, they're like, we're sorry, we don't take insurance anymore. Yep, we opted out of taking insurance plans because they fight us on every single claim, and so we just don't do it. It's all out of pocket, self-pay. I'm like, okay. And I've been going to this lady for a while, so I'm like, okay. Her price, like, she's the typical visit routine, whatever, $50 to $150, plus you have to pay for the biopsy stuff if you get that done. But she goes, we can run that through the insurance. So I'm like, all right. So anyway, so the thought is here, $35,000 a year we pay for insurance. We got a $17,500 deductible, and we always seem to be paying out of pocket at the office visits because it's before the deductible, and even then they pay some portion. They hardly pay anything. So here I am spending all that money, $35,000 a year, and then whenever we go to the doctor or dentist, my wife went to the dentist yesterday, no insurance, they don't take it, so we pay that out of pocket. So I'm saying to myself, okay, if I didn't have the insurance, I would just pay all this out of pocket, right? And it would maybe cost me $3,000 a year or something. But where the catch is, and this is where they get you, if you really get hurt, get in a car accident, come down with cancer, some vile disease, and you don't have insurance, that's where they really get you. So I'm paying basically 40-something thousand bucks a year for healthcare, between the out of pocket and the premiums for the what if. Sometimes I say to myself, I'm going to take the freaking chance. But anyway, that's my thought. I'd like to hear about your guys' your horror stories at the doctor's office and, misdiagnosis and whatnot. Because I'm telling you right now, out of everything in this country, and there's a lot bad, believe me, this country is really bad. Health insurance and the health, the overall health industry, the providers, the doctors, these big conglomerates and stuff, they don't give a rat's ass about you. All they want is your freaking money, and they want to get you in there to fill out the bullshit paperwork over and over again. Guaranteed today, when I go down there, they're going to give me that big freaking clipboard with all that shit in there, and they're going to say, can you fill this out? And I'm like, I fill this out every time. I never finish it because you guys call me in. And I think you just take that off the clipboard and you throw it away. So I'm not filling that out. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Talk to you soon.